video, you will be able to explain what is HTML and its significance, understand different types of HTML tags, elements, and attributes. Until now, we have discussed a bit about HTML, whether it is the HTML response we get in the client-server communication or viewing the HTML code of a web page. So let's put a formal definition to HTML before we dive more into it. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. A markup language is human readable, which means it contains standard words rather than typical programming syntax. HTML is used to create web pages. The text content which we want to display on a web page is all written with the help of HTML. And for styling, that is the look and feel part, which includes the colors, the sizes, the spacings. It is done using CSS, which we will cover in the next module. Let's have a look at this HTML code and understand the various terms associated with it. So anything that you see inside these angle brackets are HTML tags. Here, in this code, you can see all these highlighted ones are HTML tags, such as HTML, head, title, body, h1, paragraph, and so on. The HTML tags usually come in pairs. They have an opening tag and a closing tag. For example, this h1 HTML tag is used to define the main heading. You can see one opening and one closing tag. The closing tags always start with a /. And anything between the opening and closing HTML tag is referred to as content. Here, in this case, the content is this is a heading. Now there are some tags that cannot have any content. For example, you can see this HR tag, which is responsible to draw a horizontal line like this. For such tags, there is no need to have separate opening and closing tags, and in such cases, we have self-closing tags. So, self-closing tags are nothing but the combination of opening and closing tags. Similar to closing tags, self-closing tags also have a /, but just after the tag name. We earlier said that this tag cannot have any content. This means even if you enter any content in between the HR tag, the content won't get printed in the output, and we will only see a horizontal line. Now, in some of the tags, you can see key value pairs, like something equal to something inside the opening tags. For example, this A tag or anchor tag. You can see the key value pair, that is href is equal to some link, and in case of img tag, you can see src equal to something. This additional information that is being passed to an element are called as attributes. Attributes must be present inside the opening tag before the brackets closes, and are enclosed within double inverted commas. Now you might ask, what is an element? Well, an HTML element is everything from the opening tag to the closing tag, along with the content that is present in between. Like this is the body element, and this is the h1 element. Now, if you look at the HTML code, you can see that the HTML elements can be nested. That is, they can be placed inside one another. Let's simplify what we mean by this. Here, you can see the body element which is placed inside the HTML element. This means that the body element is the content part of the HTML element. We can also say that the body element is the child to the HTML element. And inversely, the HTML element is the parent to the body element. If you carefully notice, you can see we can also place HTML elements one after the other. Like the body element is placed after the head element. Here, the body and head elements have the same parent element, that is the HTML element. So we can say that head element and body element are siblings to each other. Similarly, HR element is a sibling to h1 element. Also, please remember that there can never be an overlapping of HTML elements. That is, if an element starts inside another element, it has to end before the parent element ends. So I hope you have understood the terms HTML tags, elements, and attributes. Now, let us look at another aspect which is very important for web developers, that is indentation. Let me rearrange this code. Now, have a look. Does it make any sense? Are you able to understand which element is inside which element or which element is placed after which element? No, right? So here comes indentation to the rescue. Indentation is a way to write your code to convey a proper program structure. It means adding some leading spaces before each line in such a way that without reading, only by looking at the code, we can understand the program structure. Now, how can we use indentation to make code look structured and readable? This is what we will see in the next video, so stay tuned.